In this video, I'm going to show you 5 music lessons for teaching harmony and music. Hi, my name is Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources, and I'm a music teacher with over 20 years of experience in the music classroom. Today, I'm going to show you 5 great ways to teach harmony and music. Harmony is an important part of any musician's education, and these are fun games and lesson activities that are sure to help your students learn quickly and easily. So, let's get started. Five music lesson ideas for teaching harmony and music. Welcome. As said, I'm going to give you 5 lesson ideas for teaching harmony and music. These are simple ideas that you can use straight away, some of them. And I'm also going to give you some suggested resources to use. So let's get started. First one, name that chord. Now, I'm sure that you've all done this in your music classroom at some point where you actually get the kids to listen for the chords, whether it's major or minor. One of the things I try and do first, sorry, there's something noisy going past, is I will often teach the kids same or different first. So I'll play one chord, then play another chord. And then I'll ask them simply, just to get them used to the idea, is the first chord the same or different to the first? Second chord, sorry, the same or different to the first. That way, you're just getting them to recognize if there's differences, okay? And then once you've done that, I introduce them to major and minor sounding chords. Now, you could do this on the keyboard, you could do this on the guitar, or whatever instrument takes your fancy. Piano is obviously easier because you can actually form the chords nice and quickly. Now, when you've done that, and once the kids have actually understood what the sounding of major and minor chords are, then move on to playing the game. So simply, a couple of ways you can do this. One is, my favorite ways is to use the mini whiteboards. Okay, I know most of you have got them in your classrooms. The kids can work together or maybe on their own. And it's simply just a matter of you play the chord maybe 2 or 3 times, and then you get them to show me, like, show me what you're thinking. And you can, M-A-J for major, M-I-N for minor. So it's up to them what they want to actually like to show them. So you can quickly check for understanding whether they actually can hear whether it's major or minor chords. Now, another way to do it is I like to go thumbs up for major, thumbs down for minor. So this way it's really quick. So play the chord, play the chord, play the chord. Okay, show me. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you actually happen to be playing. Now, the thing is with this, if you're doing the thumbs up, thumbs down one, you can actually play it as a game. So get them all stand up and do a knockout competition. So play a chord, okay, thumbs up, thumbs down. If they're wrong, they have to sit down, and you keep going and going and going until you actually get a winner. It's a really good way to see who actually can understand and who can actually hear what they're what chords you're playing. So nice, easy, fun game. Doesn't take a lot of effort. Doesn't take a lot of like preparation on your part. If you've got the mini whiteboards, great. If you don't, doesn't matter. Okay, as I said, thumbs up, thumbs down. My favorite way to do it. All right. Number 2, harmonic circle. Now, this is something, again, you would have to teach them a few things first, but I would hope if you're teaching harmony, you've already maybe taught melody, because then you've got an idea of, they've got a basis of what they're actually performing and something to go from. So this one is harmonic circle game. So again, after you've been played that game beforehand, okay, major, minor, or name that chord, okay, then get them to sing the actual notes from the chords. So often kids are quite reluctant to sing. So if they don't want to sing, maybe get them to play on an instrument. So if you've got xylophones and glockenspiels and metallophones available in the classroom, this is a great way to actually get them to build the chord and they can actually see it, or you can get them to sing it. So it's up to you. But start forming chords. Okay, so you might go, say you're playing a C major chord. So you're going to go C, and so you teach them that note. And then you get some group, then teach them the next note and the next note. Okay, C, E, G, and then maybe you want to go on the octave above or even octave below. Doesn't matter. Depends on the kids in your classroom. Depends on their voices or what instruments you've got. Okay, but then if you're playing it, you might actually get them to go, okay, you'll divide them into maybe 4 groups, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. Okay, you're on the first note, second note, third note, the fourth note, okay, of the chord. And then you get them to actually play those things and then swap it around. Now, if you're singing this game, okay, which is what I would prefer to do personally, is you get them to sing the notes from the chords, okay, and again, swap the groups. And then once they're actually familiar with that, get a student, doesn't matter which one, to start. Okay, so they can start singing a note. And then the next person, they might point to the next person and go, all right, you're going to sing a note. And that person has to sing another note from a chord to form a chord from that given note. So they could go an octave above, an octave below, or they could sing the third or the fifth above. Okay, depending if it's major or minor. If they're tricky, they'll sing the minor third for the chord. And you just keep swapping it around and keep playing different things, and then see what the sound ends up being like. And again, starting with different people, you might actually want to do it in like put your class into little pairs, and they've got to sing the same note together, and then another pair, then another pair, then another pair, or even in trios or in groups. It doesn't matter how you want to do it. But again, it's just getting them to actually understand that a harmonic sound is created by the notes from the chords. And so they have to build on that note they're given to actually create harmony. Okay. If their instruments is, say, playing the guitar or playing piano, they will naturally be able to actually work out what notes they tend to play together, or what chord formations they are on the guitar, or maybe the ukulele. So again, it's just a way of connecting what they're actually playing to what they're hearing, and if they can recreate it a different way. So that's a couple of fun games. These don't even have to take long. These could be a great lesson starter or lesson finisher, as I said, for any music lesson if you're teaching harmony. Number 3. Okay, listening worksheets. You know I love them. Okay, you know I love the Elements of Music worksheets. So the best way to get them to understand is to actually teach them the terminology that goes with harmony, and then get them to listen to music that they like listening to, or the ones that you're studying in music, and get them to actually listen for the harmonic roles in the music. So usually when I'm doing this, I get the kids to actually listen first for the melody, pick out what instrument's playing that melody, and then go, okay, well, if that's playing the melody, what instruments are playing the harmonic role? What instruments are supporting that melody harmonically? So it could be, depending on the music, listen to a guitar, electric guitar, piano, keyboard, saxophone, doesn't matter, violin, strings, could be anything, okay? But get them to use to listening for the instruments that are performing that harmonic role. And using the worksheets is an easy way to do that. All right, another one I love to do is teaching the kids to actually create their own harmonic part to a familiar melody. So say you've just taught them how to play Hot Cross Buns, simple, or Mary Had a Little Lamb, or I don't know, Merrily We Roll Along. I think that's the same thing, isn't it? Anyway, just a simple melody. Baby Shark is a good one. My kids like playing that one. Okay, get them to learn and play the melody. So something familiar, something they already know. So it could be something you're actually teaching in class. Then once you've done that, I get them to break into small groups, and depending on the piece, say you're using Hot Cross Buns and you're starting on B-A-G, all right? And then you say to the kids, all right, the notes that you can use to create a harmonic part are these. So it might be G, B, D, and an A. That's a nice, easy way to get them to actually use the chords and getting them familiar. So again, obviously, if you have a more complicated melody, you give them more chords and more notes to play with. But then get them to break into groups of 3 to 5, have one person in the group play the melody, and the other kids are actually got to support, try and improvise their own harmonic line. And it's really interesting to see who actually gets it and who doesn't, and who can work out simple ones that are effective, and maybe more complicated ones that are also effective or maybe not so effective, and then get the groups to play for the class. When I'm doing this, I do a lot of circulating around the classroom. Show me what you got, show me what you've done, how have you done this, what's working. And you can give them little pointers along the way and go, I don't think that quite sounds right. You might want to change that note to this one, just so they get an idea. But if they learn themselves and play themselves and get that experimenting happening, they're going to learn so much more. And the best thing about this, they're learning skills beyond being a musician: collaboration skills, problem solving skills, creativity skills, all improvisation, harmonic, like so many different things are being utilized in this one activity. I generally do this one over a few lessons. I don't make this a one lesson thing. Maybe teach it first and then give them a second. We do it as a class. The second time through, we teach, make sure they've got the melody, and then I let them to break into small groups. They practice it. We have another lesson where they practice it and then perform it. Okay. Great assessment as well. Great assessment idea if you want to do that. All right, number 5, we're nearly there. Okay, compose using 2 chords. So again, if you have got kids and you're maybe using instruments that play chords really easily, so it could be your ukuleles, guitars, or even on the keyboards, then get them composing with 2 chords. So depending on what you've learned, okay, so say you're in the key of, just thinking a nice one for ukulele, so say C, okay, and you might give them 2 chords, C and G. Okay, that works nicely for guitar and keyboard as well, for those 2 chords. And you go, all right, you're going to use those 2 chords and you're going to compose something for me. So it could be that they create a chord pattern. How many beats are you going to play each chord? How often are you going to change them? Are you going to do different sections? All that sort of stuff. And then maybe once they've actually come up with their own chord progression, they could come up with a melody over the top. Depends on how they want to do it. Now, another way to do this is actually to get them to create the chord progression in a program using something like BandLab, okay, which you can use all sorts of different things. Lots of different ways to do this. But again, this is great for solo work or group work, getting them to compose and create and how they're going to change things. And you can add things in like, all right, what's your tempo? What sort of rhythms are you using? What's how many layers of sound you're going to have texturally? You know, you change it up. What are your dynamics? And you can add all those things in there while still teaching about harmony. All right, so I'm going to give you some resources that will make it a bit easier for you. So again, don't forget, I always have lots and lots of information over on my blog at juliajooya.com. And if you go to the front page, go to the elements of music at the bottom and then click through and you'll be able to find a blog post all on harmony. And there I explain all the terms that you need to know about what is actually harmony. And as I said, all the terms. So free, go and have a look. Another thing you might like is also harmony music worksheets. Now, these are great if you've actually taught. One way to teach actually the definitions and terminology that you're using in harmony. Okay, like harmonic rate of change, you could see chord pattern, chord progression, 12-bar blues, ice cream chord change, all sorts of things. Great way to actually get the kids, reusing and applying what they're learning with the terminology. My favorite things to do is obviously when you're learning music terms is to use cards. And as you can see, chords, triads, cadences. Now that depending on what you are teaching and what you are wanting your students to know, you may not be using the term cadence with them, okay, and the endings of phrases and things. You may not want to do that. So you pull those cards out. But again, what are you actually going to do? Great way to get them to learn. And I also reference these in this video about the harmony and music listening worksheets. So have a look. These go through a stack of different things, and there are lots of different levels of difficulty for differentiation in your classroom about harmony and listening for harmony in a piece of music. And remember, this sort of stuff, these listening questions can be applied to any piece of music. And that's the beauty of them. They can be applied to any piece of music, any genre, any style, any lesson you're using. If you want to talk about harmony and get your kids listening for harmony, pick these and have a look. Don't forget there's stacks of more resources I have over my Teachers Pay Teachers store, so you can go and have a look there. And if you'd like a free copy of the Elements of Music mind maps, don't forget to have a look. Use that link there, juliajooya.com/free mind maps. And also, as I said, I already talked about what's on my blog, but don't forget, just a little reminder there as well, juliajooya.com. Go and have a look. There's stacks of things there for you. So let me stop share. And again, thank you for listening. As I said, I'm just talking about harmony today and ways to teach it. It doesn't have to be that difficult. And if you're doing a little bit all the time, you'll find your kids actually will progress very nicely as a musician and be able to actually apply what they're playing to what they're listening, or what they're listening to what they're playing, vice versa. It doesn't matter which way they're actually going. So until next time, I'm Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources, and happy teaching. Bye.